Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael like to deliberate the most ubiquitous four things of any given topic, and this episode is no different. This is our 201st episode?
Yeah, we're in the new year.
Yeah.
We're in the
New year, new
season.
New centennial.
New yous, guys.
2020.
Crazy.
So this is 201 of 2020. Niner. And the topic of this is, maybe you've picked it up because I've been mentioning some of them, numbers.
Can you mention all of them, Jeff?
Are these integers?
there's one.
Whole numbers. 1,
2,
That's, one,
3.
something you said is the loneliest of all those. Is it 1?
Well, one
Hold on,
could
let
be
me
just
start
as
from the
lonely.
beginning and just
Okay.
go all the way through.
Okay,
And we'll
lap.
see.
Do all
4,
the numbers.
5. Yeah, 6.
Okay, this is lost where yours are reading out numbers. now.
One of you guys chose this. I'm not gonna. Okay, it's Michael.
This was mine. I like a silly topic or one that is literally infinite.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Quite literally infinite.
quite literally could be any number. Maybe it's a negative number. Maybe it's a number that we don't know of. Maybe it is a random number that is important to one of you guys. Maybe it is a pop cultural type number.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to do with sports. Maybe it has to do with whatever. Numbers
So open. Yeah.
are everywhere.
Numbers are everywhere.
Take that,
Elvis.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Your fucking numbers. Come on our podcast.
We're the only show that's bold enough to call out Neil deGrasse.
That would be that would be like the worst person to have on your podcast to discuss numbers is someone that would take numbers seriously.
Oh.
They would be like, "Oh no, 37 is actually
guess-
the best number because of all of the prime." And you're
It's
just
an
like,
infinite prime number.
and then
that
you're
is-
just like, I don't
Yeah.
like you anymore. I don't like him.
A numberist.
A numberist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just think numbers are. Where is it gonna go?
I love it.
See, my problem is I thought you meant numbers like show tune numbers.
Oh.
So I got all that jazz.
It's
I
all
got,
cats.
Yeah.
It's all jellicle cats
It's
and
sports book stuff. Well, I'm
numbers.
I'm excited for any interpretation you guys put on this one. So since Michael chose it, Richard's going to start with his idea of the first number.
All right, my first number is 3. You know why?
Why?
Guess. Jeff, guess.
Oh,
Why would it?
Is it
Why
us?
3?
why 3?
No,
Because
it's the magic.
magic number.
It's the magic number.
Somewhere in the soul hip hop community was born 3, may stub me, and that's the magic number.
Yeah,
What does that all mean?
Exactly. Growing up as a kid, watching Schoolhouse Rocks on your local
yeah.
ABC affiliate, I did not realize this was actually the first song that was written and created for the Schoolhouse Rock franchise.
Was it?
Yeah. So the person who sang and wrote most of the songs, is a guy named Bob DeRoe.
He just died. Or something.
Who died like in the last year, I think, or something like that. Not Bob DeRosa,
No.
former guest of the show, Bob DeRoe. And he had been a jazz musician.
Oh, Jack Sheldon died. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had been recording jazz albums, but he started out getting a job in advertising because it paid better than jazz. But there was an advertising guy who got basically...
But the heroin's even just as much.
Oh yeah, those scat advertising numbers. So there's a guy named David McCall who also worked in advertising, and basically he said, "Hey, my son can't memorize their timetables yet, but they sing along with all these pop songs. So maybe you could write a song that would help him learn their multiplication tables." And he said, "Don't write it down to children.
Yeah.
Make it like a cool song." So he came up with 3 as the magic number, and in the song it lifts off along with talking about being a magic number.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 in the family. At least this is a nuclear family, I suppose. Your traditional family. Triangle having 3 sides. They list the multiples of 3s. So 3, 6, 9, 12,
Yeah.
15. So it's basically a way for kids to be able to memorize their multiplication tables of 3. So he loved the song. Wound up getting his art director to do some animation to it. They sent it off to Michael Eisner, who you may have heard of,
Yeah.
who at the time was the head of daytime programming at ABC,
Wow.
and Chuck Jones, who was also very much involved with ABC's daytime programming at the time. And they said they love it. Why don't we do a whole series of these? So we have Schoolhouse Rocks because of 3 is the magic number.
That's pretty cool.
So that's not only is it a great catchy song with a pretty fun cover by Blind Melon on the Schoolhouse Rocks covers album that came out in the 90s, but also all the other Schoolhouse Rock songs that you love
Yeah.
owe this a debt of gratitude.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
We watched Reality Bites recently, and there's an opening scene where they're all these Gen Xers all out of school singing Schoolhouse
Assholes.
Rock songs.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, man, this puts me off to this movie and to Schoolhouse Rocks. They think they're so cool, Janine Garofalo and all of them, but that's a good choice, Rich.
How's that
love
movie
it.
hold up, by the way?
She should have gone with Michael the entire time.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller.
The Ben Stiller
Yeah.
character. He's the one that was like nice to her, and
He's nice and stable and
yeah, maybe that's just a 41-year-old person's perspective looking back, but
What was
Ethan
that?
Hawke was.
Your spouse's.
Yeah, she was like, I don't think she really cared for either very much.
Yeah.
The right choice was to choose neither,
Yeah.
which I think is.
It almost seems like broadcast news had the same dilemma for our female protagonist of which of the guys, and each of them was kind of douchey in their own way. Well, I love that choice, and I'm sorry I went right to the De La Soul
No.
remix versus.
no, that's okay. That was also, I mean, obviously,
supplanted.
De La Soul planted the seed in their heads as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah, Winfield, what's your first?
My first number is the number 0.
Oh,
Oh, not zilch, not a zip, not
Like you
nothing. Love.
and I love. Oh,
I thought I thought 0 is a very interesting number. It's also the Billy Corgan number. When you think of cool guys wearing 0 on them,
yeah.
being bald and
Yeah.
a rock and roll guy, there was nothing cooler than in 1995 when Billy Corgan had a bald head and the word 0 written across his chest and declaring himself, "I'm nothing."
yeah,
God, that is pure rock and roll.
yeah,
But 0, I think, is just always an interesting number. It represents nothing, which is sometimes hard to define as a state. I was reading a little bit about how, no one had 0 defined for the longest time. It wasn't until recently. No, and it was like 0 and the idea of nothing and zeroness has been around for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years before like current culture.
sure.
it was
I read a
3.
little bit about the Greeks,
Yeah.
how they didn't have 0 for a long time, but I think it mostly revolved around the idea of it was more philosophical of how
Right.
can nothing be something, and that's like, go back to Greece. Stupid. Stop thinking so much.
Like,
Death and
like, how do you not have something that represents?
Nothing.
How many of those do you have? If you don't have any, what do you say in response?
One.
I literally have one, but less than that.
One takeaway one, and then
yeah,
you're in a literal
Loop. Yeah.
and then there you are. I also think 0 looks pretty cool as a number on a uniform, like a baseball or basketball.
Right.
It's a real tough guy move to declare yourself not number 1, but number 0.
Right.
Or even more rare, the double 0.
Double 0, yeah.
How much of a badass do you have to be to say, I am
yeah,
0-0? Just go for 3 zeros at that point.
yeah.
Why not 4 zeros? When's the guy that's just going to be so confident that they just have 6 zeros on their jersey and you're just like, I can't top 6 zeros.
0 is that the name of the kid in Grand Budapest Hotel? I think the
Oh,
protagonist-
Zero
Yes.
Mustel or something like
Zero.
that.
Yeah. You're thinking of the actor Zero Mostel.
Yeah.
But the actual
Oh,
character,
yes, you're right.
but the
Yeah.
character name was named Zero, I
Yeah.
believe.
Zero, also the name of the dog in A Nightmare
Nightmare.
Before Christmas. Zero is out there as this. It's nothing, but it means a lot. Part of the whole binary numbers, zeros and ones.
And a Z is a badass letter to start anything.
Yeah. Oh,
with.
for the listeners across the pond, Z.
Z.
Yeah.
When we say
Meaning your dad.
go back throughout the entire podcast, whenever we've said 0, we meant Z.
No, whenever you said Z.
Oh, that's what Z. Oh, Z is Z.
Yeah, Z is Z.
Okay.
I don't know what they call zero.
Not.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
When they, like when they play noughts and crosses instead of
X's and
tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe, knots
We-
and crosses.
come-
Oh, come on.
Come on, you guys. Oh, zero prevalent there.
Yeah.
Well, their maths are different than
Their
ours.
maths.
Worse.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Less than zero was the Easton Ellis.
Bret Easton Ellison, yeah.
Jay-Z.
You're mixing up. I don't even know what you're mixing. Jay-Z.
Jay Mecker, Ernie. Yeah, those preppy yuppie authors.
Right.
One of the things I did like, and I think I let it off talking about zero, was how many different synonyms there are for zero to represent nothingness.
Yeah.
Except for, like, you can't do that with one.
Yeah.
You can say maybe,
Uno.
but that's just a different
That's
language.
just different
That's
language.
another
Yeah.
language.
But zero has a lot of things.
Zip, zilch, nada.
Yeah.
Not as another language. But, like, I don't know. I just think it's unique in that way.
Okay. Ricardo, your second choice.
Who doesn't love pie? Right? It's delicious.
I don't think Vladimir Putin likes it.
Okay,
I don't think they like it.
I always write down notes.
Yeah.
Picks 3.14.
Yeah, start getting to it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too. So pi, which is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter.
Okay.
And the main reason I bring this up is because there are competitions for people to memorize pi,
Yeah.
to however many numbers they can memorize it to. And some of the people, like the previous world record had been 67,890 places by Chao
also my
Lu
number.
of China.
Holy shit.
Oh, is that one of your numbers? Which was since surpassed by Reserve Mini of India, who recited 70,000 decimal places.
How do you do that?
And I got to say, if any of you who are in the competitive pi memorization movement are listening, listen up.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Just stop.
Stop it. Obviously, you have a talent for being able to memorize random numbers, things. Your memorization is off the charts.
Yeah.
Do you realize what good you could be doing to
waste.
the earth? Somehow. I'm not sure how. But there has to be a better use of your skills than just memorizing a random string of numbers.
The thing is with that, like, can you say, well, what's the 12,322nd number in digit of pi?
Oh,
can
yeah.
they go in and
they
do
like-
that, or they have to be like,
Let me think.
Hold
The first
on,
one is
3.1415.
4 and 4. Yeah, they have to count it all out, I think. Because I don't think it's anything. I think the way that you memorize that is probably you break it down to a series of strings and then you memorize those strings so you remember the first 10, the second 10, so on and so on.
Pi is I imagine there is a mathematical formula or number or something that is so powerful and so important that it almost merits that kind of dotage. That
Right.
but that's
Well,
not that
I mean,
big a
I think
deal.
pi is. I mean, I think that it is a very important mathematical number.
You don't use pi to cure cancer or solve the distance from.
Well,
here
you
to
do
there.
use it in astronomy and stuff like
okay.
that, astrophysics, things like that. And I love it that it's how big is pi? No one knows for sure. It's a mystery. It's like Stonehenge.
I do like that. There are like supercomputers that are just crunching these numbers for forever, and they're like up to the trillionth digit of pi, and there's just some guy that's like, I'm at 67,000 memorized, and they're like, okay.
All right.
The computers in the future that are even less impressed with us will come across these record books and be like,
Well, he's an athlete, so like a marathon runner
Right.
could buy a car and drive 26 miles.
I also like the fact that my bros, the Babylonians,
Yeah,
they thought 3 1/8. Yeah, that's good enough.
close enough.
That's as close as we're going to get to pi.
Yeah,
And that's fine.
yeah.
Because you know what? It probably is. Really? I
Yeah.
mean, you really need to get
You know,
that,
we got
that
malaria.
exact.
We got malaria to worry about. We're gonna worry about.
We
that,
got
but
Mongol hordes
Yeah.
at our door. 3.148. That's good.
we're good. Okay, Winfield.
what's that number that you need when you just need
69,
to go
baby.
one more?
Oh, 11.
11.
Most blokes here are all on 10. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Where can you go from there? Nowhere, really.
Well, why don't you just make 10 one louder?
That extra push
goes to 11.
over the cliff.
Brilliant.
The number 11
Nigel Tufnell.
cannot be uncoupled
Yeah.
from this moment in a movie.
I believe it's called Tufnell's Law.
You cannot see the number 11 and not think of being one louder than 10
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
This is Spinal Tap.
That's
and
a
Nigel
great
Tufnell's
choice.
Brilliant. Just failure of logic when it's pointed out, and he's just, please go to 11. And he's like,
Chewing gum, smoking a cigarette.
And then Marty DeBurgi is sitting there like nodding very
Yeah.
seriously, like he's really taking this all in.
He plays like a beautiful piano etude, and it's called "Lick My Love Pump."
La, la.
D minor, the saddest key. This is
saddest of all
obviously
keys, really.
the reference on the show. This is Spinal Tap that comes up the
Yeah.
most. I think it is probably one of the most important movies in all of our lives,
Oh, yeah.
comedically.
Yeah.
And I felt it was right to kick off the year also referencing this.
Beautiful.
But 11 is just one of those that it's turned into something into real life where I think there are some Marshall amps that make their amps go to 11. I'm sure they did what Marty DeBurgi did. They just made it 11 slightly 10 slightly loud, or whatever. Made it 11. They just dumbed everything else down. But I just like the idea of a number that is just so simple and embedded in society as that.
And it does surmise the one-upsmanship and male, the testosterone-driven cock rock. It does have a lot of the stupidity of toxic masculinity encapsulated in it.
And it's palindromic, which is always good for a number.
Yeah.
I like me a good palindromic number, and it's even palindromic because not only is it the same number, but it just looks the same. Like 121, if you tried to read it backwards, the 2 would be backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this one, it's just a 1 and a 1. It's just right there.
11, another good uniform number. I like duplicates on uniforms. 11, 99, 66. I think they look really good. 11 too looks strong. Like
Yeah. When you see...
looks good.
When it's 11:11, my wife, I think, said to me, touch something red. Like it's a...
Oh, sure, like a little superstition, like
Yeah.
you make a wish.
Or if it's 12:12 or
I never heard. I've heard of it on 11:11
Yeah.
for whatever reason, just because it looks maybe it's like when you see a symmetrical face and you don't know why it looks good, but you just know it looks good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I like the way.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
It's also, I think, not many numbers you could turn them upside down for the most part. They'd be the same too. Backwards and upside down. We are in our new year, and we are inviting you to do us a solid and download 200. That's the number of previous podcasts that we have recorded, all with the goal of entertaining you. And another number you could consider is 5. That's how many stars you could go give our podcast. We'd appreciate it. And you could also consider joining us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and being part of the community of people who are supporting our podcast and talking about topics that we could use on our podcast.
And Jeff, I know you have always loved to push like live content.
Yeah.
And I know that you are currently setting up a number of kind of live Facebook sort of events. Can you talk about that a little bit?
To join us for some live episodes, totally Rushmore live episodes, where we set up some cameras and we do a quick, short 5-minute episode, not a long episode like this podcast.
Right, just whip my dick out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, along with the powerful episode.
Speaking of numbers, 5.
5.
Yeah.
One thing that we were at one point discussing was Mount Rushmore of Awards season. I don't know if we'll have time to do that before January 12th. Let's see. January 2nd, we got the Golden Globes happening tonight, but we're kicking off awards season, so that might be one that we consider.
Sure. Yeah, there are lots of awards happening.
Okay. And then Mount Rushmore in honor of National Pizza Day.
Woo.
So I know we
Speaking of pie.
pizza, pizza pie fans. So that could be on February 9th, our National Pizza Day, and on March 10th. St. Patrick's Day drinking game with a Rushmore live stream of the best Irish people ever. So start thinking about some of the best Irish folks, currently and throughout history.
Timmy O'Timahan.
Seamus O'Shaughnessy.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Timmy O'Toole.
Actually, I'm Japanese. Oh, really? Well, your name doesn't sound... Okay, I don't care. Don't typecast me, bro. Okay, so that was a little sketch comedy thing that I did. Called racism.
Yes, and?
Yes, and... so we would love for you to join us for that, those things. And now back to the English language and numbers. And Richard is going to let us know the third of his numbers.
All right, my third number is the number 7.
Okay.
And it's a very personal number to me.
Oh.
It was my sports jersey number and all the
There you
different
go.
sports that I played
Yes.
throughout elementary school all the way through high school. Whether it was basketball or football or baseball, always had number 7 on my back. Bowling number.
Really?
No, there's no such thing as a bowling number.
Or should be.
Yeah.
Everyone
End
would
of
be
a bowling
69.
team.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Who do I tackle, coach, on the bowling team?
And I didn't have it because I was a fan of Mickey Mantle or Pete Maravich or even Cristiano Ronaldo, which would have been silly since he was much later after I was a kid. No, it's because of the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski.
Sure.
For whatever reason, I really identified with him as a kid. I think because he was kind of a shortish, squattish looking guy. And he was like, and he had a real ethnic sounding last name, even though it wasn't Italian, as somebody who kind of had a Manfredi, Jaworski.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like one of my people.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's why I became a Philadelphia Eagles fan and have been ever since.
Right on.
And Jaworski wore the number 7, so that's why I wore the number 7 in all the different sports I attempted to play, the team sports that I attempted to play mostly kind of badly.
Mm-hmm. Was there any of the other reasons, like number 7 being a lucky number?
You know what? I would have people say, "Oh, it must be your lucky number," ha ha ha, and it never occurred to me whenever I locked into that number.
Have you seen me play?
Have you seen me? Trust me, I need all the luck. And I think 7 is a good looking number too on a jersey because it's got the kind of sharp angles and everything. Most of your numbers are very round, and so they like a 6 or a 9 or an 8. Those are very round numbers. 7's really sharp and angular and kind of aggressive looking.
You, as a young man, you had also indulged in so many sins by then, I think.
Also, I had hit 6 of the 7.
It's interesting. It's always interesting when we played kickball for a number of years, and eventually a more competitive side of kickball kind of came about, where people would go and play in tournaments, and people's kickball uniforms went from just wearing T-shirts to kind of screen printing on T-shirts to people going out and buying like team uniforms and team jerseys that were all like really professionally done and really professionally numbered with names and stuff on the back. And we have a good friend, Max Lucas, who would do the same thing. He had his number that he wore all through high school, that he kept, like whatever he played, like that was his number. That became his number. And I think it's funny and interesting how that happens, where I don't know if it's a superstition or if that's your number.
That's just your number. Yeah. It's not even a superstition so much as it just is part of you playing a sport is like, I'm a number 7. And, I remember like being in Little League and like everyone gets a number. And I remember immediately like, I got 7. Like you had to call it like immediately just in case some other dickhead wanted to take it away from you,
Do I played 2 seasons of Little League baseball? I wasn't any good, so I don't think it's called out.
You've blacked it out.
They did call us by name, but do numbers ever play? Do you ever see your number on a sheet or your number or something in sports? Sorry.
Trying to think. Not
like
really. No.
These numbers are cut or call it a number.
Hey, 7, get over here.
No,
I don't think
7, stay on the bench.
No, 7. No, come over here. They're calling your name. Why don't you go up in the bleachers and find out why they're calling your name?
Okay. All right, Winfield. Number
my
3 of your numbers.
Third choice. 42.
Oh, of course.
The answer to the question that nobody can remember the question from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
What was Jackie Robinson's number? That's
also
in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
number 42, aside from being the answer to the ultimate question in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Jackie Robinson's number.
Yeah.
The only number that is fully retired across all teams in baseball.
Is it?
To honor Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier for the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time. I couldn't remember if they were with LA, but it was with Brooklyn back in, 1955, 58, 55? Shame on me for not knowing. But it's retired throughout all the baseball on once a day.
Once a year.
Once a year, thank you.
Once a day, they have to wear that number.
What's a minute?
Once a year, every baseball team, every player has to wear the number 42.
Even the racist ones.
Even the racist ones, regardless of position. I don't know if they necessarily have their name on the back. Maybe they do. Maybe it depends on the team.
I think it depends on the team.
Up until only a few years ago, there was only one player actively wearing 42, Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the last. They just let him keep it, even though it had been retired before then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a very nice tradition to honor such like a significant moment in sports.
Yeah.
Sports have kind of been a little dotted here and there throughout this my choices. And aside from being the joke answer to a silly thing on a British comedy book and series and radio show, it seems to be a lot stronger in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. I am very attracted to numbers like 42, 20, 24 is my birthday. I was born in 68. 12/24 was my birth month and date.
Mm-hmm.
Also, 24 is also his birth year.
He's from 24. He's come back in time.
Okay. Off the topic, have you see this thing in LA Times about this prop guy closing down his prop shop? And
I
the
did.
Sci-fi prop that he's made that's been in every movie.
Yeah, sure. Movie. Yeah, I saw that.
Some kid has a YouTube compilation of that prop in Star Trek and The Incredible Hulk and Austin Powers. This neon lighty kind of thing.
Huh.
It's in every laboratory scene. Every
That's
scene
funny.
where they say, "Welcome to our laboratory." It's always that's there.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Okay, Manfredi, you're fourth and final.
All right. So it did say numbers, right? So you could have more than one number per in the choice. And these numbers are 25.
36, 24. 30.
No. They're 25, 6, and 4. Otherwise known as the Chicago song, 25 or 6 to 4.
Okay.
A banger of a tune.
Yeah.
Also, when I was in marching band, this was the hippest song that we were allowed to play. Was a Chicago song that was at that point 20 years old.
Yeah.
But that was about as hip as we got.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of stoked my interest in the song. And the title because it's such an esoteric sort of title, people have said that it's about LSD or about drugs or any number of things. Popular rumor is that 6 to 4 was a nickname for LSD because if you dropped acid at 6 p.m., the effects of the drug would wear off at 4 a.m.
Okay.
Apparently, doesn't have anything to do with the song.
Oh.
The song was written by the keyboard player for Chicago, Robert Lamb. And he was trying to write a song, and he was staying up all night, and he couldn't figure out what to write the song about. So he decided to write the song about staying up all night trying to write a song.
Okay.
And literally, when he looked at his clock, it was either 3:35 a.m., which is 25 minutes to 4, or 3:34 a.m., which is 26 minutes to 4. So it's 25 or 26 to 4.
Oh.
But he just dropped the 20 off of the second one.
Wow. Okay.
I just love this song, you guys.
Okay.
It's just to me it's one of those songs by a band that I wouldn't necessarily consider myself to be a fan of.
Yeah.
But I love the song very much.
Okay.
Also his locker combination.
That's what I was going to
Truly is. So if you guys are at the YMCA in Koreatown and ever see me pulling up, you'll know how to break into my locker.
Great marching band song. I mean, so much good horns.
So many horns. Yeah, you
In
could
the
see why
original
it would work.
arrangement. My band teacher was convinced that was the key signature or the time signature, that 6/4 time was somehow 25 beats per minute.
Does your band teacher know anything about music? Did he?
She's claimed that she was very knowledgeable. She couldn't teach me
What did you try to play?
trumpet.
Oh, and how'd that turn out?
It was awful.
Oh,
It was
really?
awful. I was the oldest fourth chair trumpet. I think all these younger kids were much higher.
All the young whippersnappers
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
fancy ambitures
Kids
and
that practiced.
practice.
Yeah, whatever.
Practice.
Not gonna be me. Wind it up.
My last one.
Wrap it up. Rippity wrap.
Here, Jeff. Oh, wait. Let me turn it over for you.
Oh.
That's right. The
It
number
moved. It moved.
5,318,008.
Went on a calculator.
Upside down.
Upside down.
Boopies.
Boobies. I love it.
This was the dumb number that made me think of this.
You typed in
stupid
boobies
topic.
as kids. We typed in boobless.
Boobs. I tapped in boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs.
You can do boobs as well.
Yeah.
Just 800.
It's early computer porn.
Which is
That's all you had.
which is the Michael Scott number. Is boobs.
Is it too?
Yeah, there's like a when he has like the talking calculator. I think it's there's some sort of talking
Yes.
like thing. Yeah.
Oh, he's yes. That's funny.
And he keeps doing that to Pam.
This is just one of those ridiculous things that every kid has done, whether they had it on a calculator watch or just a little mini calculator. It's like you can spell like so few things, like maybe hello.
Shell oil. I remember.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
But as soon as you could start remembering 58008,
Yeah.
or if you extend it to boobies,
Yeah.
you're like, I've done it. I've conquered all with this ridiculous number.
Now I know what my numbers are meant for. To be letters that are dirty.
That's about it. It doesn't really have
Yeah.
a huge. It's one of those things that I think of where how did everybody learn the Jingle Bells Batman Smells song?
That's told by college.
Everybody
college
just
courses and-
knew it.
Yeah, yeah.
It just became a
Well,
thing.
it's one of Aristotle's tales,
Yeah.
isn't it?
The ancient Greeks.
Yeah.
Robin doth lay an egg. I guess that's Shakespeare.
yeah, it's
It's one of those things that has
kitty vernacular. Yeah.
I don't know, ubiquitous. Every kid suddenly just knows it. You know this one particular song, and you know how to.
Well, somebody had like an older brother who taught it to them, and then they taught it to every kid in the school. I think that's what happened.
I love it.
That's all.
I wonder if there was somehow like a way to report back what numbers are most typed in calculators. Would boobies be it, do you think?
69.
69.
By the way, congratulations, you guys, on not choosing 69.
No,
Yeah.
sure. What? Come on. We're not. This isn't amateur hour. We're episode
That's what I mean.
201.
This may be Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
What's up, motherfuckers? I think you know what number I'm going to drop on you. That's
Oh,
68.
you're disgusting.
68. You do me and I owe you one. 71. That's 69 with two fingers up your ass. Peace out. Hey, guys, what's up?
I'm glad that
Absolutely
was a short stay.
nothing.
Was Bill Clinton here doing George Carlin's material?
I think that was more Red Fox stuff than anything else.
President Red Fox? Okay, we're going to thank our listeners for going with us this far in what is an auspicious first episode of the 2020 year.
Is that a good thing? I don't. Michael, help me
It's
out here.
import.
Okay.
Full of import.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 7 because it's so personal. It told a story about Richard the baby. Because next episode is going to be about young baby versions of adult things that we know and love. So thank you, Richard, for queuing up our next week's episode. But we'll go with 7. And why don't we go with boobies? Because it's usually...
Call it by its proper number, which is 5,318,008.
Okay, 5,318,008.
Hold on a second. I'm typing that in my
Okay.
calculator right now.
Please grow up. It's a talking calculator. Why don't we go with? I did always want to know the answer to this. So 25 or 6 to 4, and I don't know. How about we go? Richard's going to start ahead this year. We're going to go with pi. Yeah.
Only one way to go from here, boys.
Yeah.
Crash into the ground.
Crash into the ground. Soaring high.
Much like Icarus.
We're going in. Well, who's ahead starting the year?
Richard's up 9 points to 4.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
this
he
were soccer.
almost had a clean sweep. He got 3 out of the 4, but he didn't get the number 3. So
Oh.
Strange.
All right. So next episode is the Mount Rushmore of the baby version of that character.
Right?
Characters, yeah. And we thank you for listening, and looking forward to this fun new year with you. This has been the Mount Rushmore podcast. I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael. Good stuff.
3.
Bloke.